My name is Bianca Yvonne. I am an artist and graphic designer from Seattle, Washington. Art for me began primarily when I was a kid, as I guess most artists. My dad was super encouraging. He sat me down and taught me how to use charcoals and was all about me learning how to be an artist. And when I got into high school, I got really into web design, so he gave me Photoshop, which just led me down the spiral of graphic design, and decided to go freelance about 1.5 years ago. And mainly as a freelance graphic designer, but starting to do more art on the side. I had been painting for maybe a couple months and people were starting to notice. And finally I started painting much more often. But it wasn't really until, probably last May when I finally felt like I kind of got a break and people were starting to actually look at my art, and I felt really confident about it. I've finally felt oh shit, this is a real thing. I can actually do art as a gig and people enjoy it, and that's just the craziest thing. It still blows my mind that people like my art. So the name of my show is Stuck on Saturn. I am so excited about my new stuff. I found this book at the thrift store called Impossible Worlds, and it was kind of explaining MC Escher's style and the process and kind of the math behind it and how you create these impossible world and impossible objects. And looking through it, I finally found something that I could actually relate to on a conceptual level, but that was still geometric and abstract. I was so stuck, and these worlds, as pretty as they were, you can't get out of them because they're impossible to live in. You just loop and you run in circles and you can't go anywhere. And it was kind of how I felt in life at the moment. I just felt I kept trying to push towards things, but nothing was really working out. And it just was one of those moments where you feel a muse is talking in your ear that people always talk about, but you never actually ever experience. It finally happened, and I was holy shit, I have an idea. So with this new series, a lot of it, I go through this book and I look at a lot of these MC Escher drawings and I try to figure out how he's created these things. And after that, I'll sketch a little bit, just rough things, trying to figure out what I want to do. And if I want to bring in a pattern or what kind of colors I'm thinking about. And then I go to the computer, which I don't know how many people do this, but because I'm way faster at Photoshop sometimes than I am at drawing, I can quickly comp it up and then just quickly rotate through colors to make sure I get the colors just right. Because these paintings are a little tricky, because not only am I working with color theory, but I'm also trying to keep a 3D space. And so I have to make sure the lights and darks are all working really well. And in Photoshop, it allows me to quickly comp up three different versions of colors, and then I can kind of just go from there. It always ends up changing once I start painting every single time, but it gives me a place to start. Music is my biggest art supply. Honestly, I cannot do anything without music playing, so I don't think I would get anywhere without music. The more that I've thought about it and the more that I do it, I just feel there is a definite need in society. Some artists are able to actually affect social change and affect culture movements, and it's really powerful. And then, other artists, we're just there to create and get people to look at things in a different way or inspire other people to create. And I think just the act of manifesting something and making something that's completely out of your own brain is a really powerful thing that not everyone has a skill to possess. And so I play a cog in this bigger machine. I'm not a doctor or a lawyer, but I have a little tiny part in pushing forwards, something.